take care of the two items of business. That's fine.
Okay, Jimmy, so we're live and ready? Okay.
We are live. Okay, let's go. First item on the agenda is from Dean Stryler, the windows that he wants to install on North Main Street. We have a package, and at the last meeting, we deferred or tabled because we wanted to hear from the State Historical Society, SHPO, which we have, and they basically said that has determined the proposed project will not damage or destroy the National Register listed downtown, etc. So as far as the office is concerned, the project may proceed. So that is their stamp of approval on it. When you look at the diagram or the first page, Peerless, you can see, I guess Rick helped me there, there's one solid piece of glass, right?
Looks like it. Yeah, it's like an outswinging or an in-swinging kind of door.
That's window. What they look like, and in all probability, they've already been made. But I would ask the board, each individual comments. Peggy?
Well, SHPO says it's no problem. I think it is a problem. If nothing else, I think that there should be a bar across the middle of this to make it look like it is a little more like historic windows. But again, SHPO doesn't necessarily think that, but that's just my personal opinion.
Thank you. Shane?
Well, I'm kind of having trouble seeing.
Which building is this?
Here it is, Shane, right there, right inside the front page.
Right.
That's the design of the window.
And these are for upstairs?
Upstairs.
Oh, okay. I mean, they look like the other Peerless windows that everybody's been putting in.
Well, I mean, they don't. I mean, it looks like the original windows. Would they be hung windows? Or let's see. This is on the west side of the street. This is the old studio building, like the Renette Studio building.
Yes.
Yeah, Renette Studio.
So I can't remember what was in there.
So
is there?
It looks like I'm not sure what's in there.
Yeah, the plumbing there was like all the rest of it, but he just put it in plain glass. To me, just adding that little piece in across the middle would at least make it look a little more historic.
Oh, make it look like a double hung.
Yes. But again, that's just my opinion. SHPO didn't say anything about it, so.
He's not here?
No.
Okay, well, yeah, so I'm not sure why he's chosen this particular window idea, this big hunk of glass, rather than a hung window in that opening. And I'm surprised that SHPO actually approved it, to be honest with you. I've asked them to do things and been rejected, for much less innocuous, quite honestly. So I'm not sure. I don't know. It looks to me like what I'm seeing there now. It looks like maybe there's storm windows covering up something else. This is on the original. I'm not looking at the Google Street View here. And but there is a meeting rail between the upper and lower sash. So I'm assuming it's an operable sash. Either that, or they simply faked in a meeting rail, on the storm. I doubt that this individual is wanting to put a storm window over his new windows. That's probably why he's putting new windows in. I have no idea why he's chosen this style of swing-in, or I'm sure they're swing-in style, but I don't know if he purchased them or not, but I would approve this. I mean, to me, this is why, if you're going to spend the money on windows, why would you choose something that does not fit the character of the building at all? That's our responsibility here. And, it does materially change the character of the building. So, I would not approve this. I would not recommend this for approval at all. And I wish the guy was here to defend his decision, because that may have some bearing on it. And to slap a piece of tape across it, it's going to look like a piece of tape or a piece of metal or whatever. But if nothing else, I mean, that might be better than nothing. Put some kind of a 2-inch wide piece of metal and glue it to his window.
What would you call that?
The glued on metal?
No, yeah.
Junk.
Well, no, I
No,
don't.
no.
Oh, the meeting rail? Oh,
Yeah,
the
meet-
that's-
meeting,
So, well, yeah, what he should have chosen here, I think, is it's either a single hung or a double hung window system instead of an in-swinging. I'm not sure if this is a casement window or what this is. It looks like you see the dash line, the dotted lines there at the angles? That's indicative that it's in-swinging or an out-swinging window in a frame. So he's chosen for whatever reason to have something besides the door that'll swing in. I'm not sure if he's thinking of egress or what. That would be the question. And perhaps he's wanting to convert the spaces into apartments, and the front rooms would be the bedrooms or something. And it's like, well, this is the only way I can make an egressable opening, so this is how I'm choosing to do it. It's not the only way you can create an egressable opening, but that's maybe that's what he was told, that there are other ways of doing it. The opening, it looks like it's 36 inches wide and 106 inches tall. Jesus. Yeah, the hung window would absolutely provide an egressable, if that's what he wanted to use it for. So I don't know. I'm not sure what the scoop is on it, but
I can interject that Mr. Stryler was at the first
last week,
meeting, but we didn't have a quorum,
last week,
and he works out of town. I think it was the week prior to that, maybe.
this is like the third time. Do you know if he's actually purchased these windows? Are they already fabricated?
I'm led to believe that he has, but I don't know that.
Rick, how much would it take to put that median piece across?
I don't know. I'd have to talk to Peerless. So basically, it would be a glued-on piece of metal,
Right.
to make it look like a fake, fake hung window. And I don't know what they would cost.
Inside or outside?
I would put it outside so it's visible. If you put it inside, it's not. I mean, he's probably got tinted glass in here. Who knows?
Okay.
But yeah, it's going to be less apparent on an interior application.
If we recommended that be done, would that be amenable?
Am I the decider on this one?
No, I want to hear from Martha Jane too.
Well, I have a question first, since I'm the newbie. The State Historical Society, do they usually err on the side of being conservative or being fairly liberal on their interpretations of what's appropriate? Or does it change?
That's a hard one to answer, and please forgive this answer, but they usually do it on a case-by-case basis.
Okay.
There's no generality which would be consistent.
Okay.
Well, I mean, a comment that isn't really about the design, but I think the second stories of these buildings are being used in different ways than they were years ago. And so probably to have really large windows does not fit the usage maybe the way it did before. I go with the architect if you feel like that would make it look more appropriate.
Well,
that seems like a simple fix.
I mean, there again, he's already made them. It takes, today it's like 15 weeks to get windows made. Plus, it's not like something that windows are typically custom made for the opening, especially these aluminum style windows. So it's not like they can restock them or something.
Right.
If you said, hey man, we don't approve, if the city says we don't, approve this, he's literally going to be up thousands of dollars for these ones. I'm sure each one of these units probably runs about $1,500. So, and all deference to that, the typical ask for forgiveness later kind of approach that we seem to have here. I guess, if nothing else, trying to fake on some kind of meeting rail would be better than nothing. It's not good, is it something that's going to slap you in the face when you're walking down the street? Probably not. You look at the building now, the meeting rail that's there on the I think it's a storm window. Someone looks at Google Earth up there and look at it more closely, but it's not that apparent either. So it is what it is. But I'm really flabbergasted that SHPO would approve this. Did they even look at it?
Yeah, it makes you wonder, doesn't it?
No,
I mean, seriously.
Yes, I know.
I'm comfortable that he sent a copy. I don't know this for a fact, but I'm saying I'm comfortable that he sent a package to SHPO. He had to. Because if he didn't, they would ask for it.
Usually I'm dealing with clients who are asking for granting or something, and they're like, no, we want it to be more in character. I mean, is this going to bring the building down? No. Is this gonna, prevent somebody from later on coming in and putting in more aesthetic looking windows? No. So
But it
it,
sets a precedent.
absolutely. And basically, it goes back to why do we do this? Are we, I mean, I'm tired of wasting my time, quite honestly, coming here week after week, month after month, and having things presented to me that have already been purchased, have already been approved by somebody, apparently. Why am I doing this? What is our function here? Because if our function is to try to help people, then they should be coming to us before they buy their shit, to be honest with you, pardon my friend. But, I can't keep doing this. This is aggravating me to no end. I can't tell you how bad I get coming to these damn meetings and watching this kind of stuff being presented. And all I can say about it is, well, I don't approve of it. It's not a good idea. So, but he's already bought it, so it's going to go in. So what have I done? Nothing. It's dumb.
Okay.
Anybody else agree with me on this one?
I haven't been here that long, but this has happened several times where the
I've been here
commitments
for
are
30-something
made.
years. I've been doing this since 1988. 1988. And this happens all the time. I mean, this is not anything new.
No.
And, it's like, why would we even do this? Nobody pays attention to that damn thing we say. I got other things to do. And, if we're going to make a movement, I would make a motion that we disband this organization. What function does it provide to the city? Nothing. Does it? Do you agree? Do you feel like this, we actually provide any kind of good for this city?
I feel that we do provide guidance to the
To
commission.
whom?
To the commission.
But it doesn't make any difference.
I guarantee if we don't recommend this, those ones are going.
Well, understood.
Yeah,
And I have no problem with you making a recommendation not to recommend this at all, if that's what you choose to do.
Yeah.
And you are correct in that the applicant will then go to the city commission, plead his case, and 9 times out of 10, we will be overruled. But we provide recommendations to the commission. That's what we do. Or recommendation, be it yay or nay, to the applicant. And I sincerely believe we provide a function to the commission. I can think of things in the past where we've had to wrestle with a number of issues, and we did, and we succeeded in having things changed a bit. But, okay.
I was interested in applying for this because I feel like downtown is on the cusp of change. But looking at everything that's going on, the whole community's cockeyed and inconsistent, and we're just caught, I think, in the middle of it.
Well, again, it's like the people are going to do what they're going to do, that's fine if that's the way people want to do it. But there's, we don't have any kind of enforcement or any kind of teeth to say no, you can't do that. Okay, so if it comes down to money,
if he were here, then he would hear our concerns, and then we could react to that.
Well, back in the
And he
day,
could react to that, but he's not here.
And was he ever? I mean, I don't know, Mr. Strela, if he's new to town or whatever, but I'm presuming he may have talked to a realtor or the Chamber of Commerce or somebody, the city codes official, somebody, and said, was he ever at any given point said, hey, by the way, if you're going to do something in this building, you need to bring it to the design review board before you do it.
Right.
I mean, I met with an individual, 11 North Main, here a week ago. He's interested in fixing that building up. He's trying to do it right, but he made the comment to me. He goes, well, I don't want to do a bunch of stuff to this building if nobody else is doing it. I mean, he said that to me. I'm like, well, nothing I'm going to ask him to do or show him to do would be out of character with the downtown or cost him anymore. But, the hung windows versus a casement, no difference in cost, quite honestly.
We have another alternative, and he's not going to like it, okay? And that is, he may be out of town, okay? But we can table this and ask him to be here. in light of everyone's comments, I think that's the prudent thing to do.
I don't know if it would change my recommendation though. I mean, I don't know where this guy lives. Does he live around?
Well,
He lives at the lake.
Oh, Lake Forest guy. Okay, so he could. It was yeah. It was him.
Probably downstairs, and he's done the outside exterior upper part all painted and redone.
Okay, so do you know this individual? Do you know why he chose these windows?
No, I don't know anything about windows.
I would bet it's because that building, that's an apartment in the front.
Yeah.
And then the Barnetts used to have their little office in the back, because it's kind of like a stacked building. It's like,
Okay.
and maybe it's because these will open like that, and you can open windows in the back and the window come through. And
He plans to live up there from that part time.
Well, and they're in swinging. I kind of looked at it a little more closely. It's an in swinging casement style window, basically. So when they swing in, they're going to swing into the space 3 feet like a door. You know, the advantage of casement window opening offers is more free area for air movement. Granted, on a window of that size, I mean, a hung window would provide plenty of ventilation, I would think, for through ventilation if that's how he wants to do it, like through the building. I mean, I don't know. Again, it's the thing that irks me is he's made his decision, he's made his purchase, and now suddenly he's coming to us for what? Guidance? We're guidance. We're the guidance people. How do we guide somebody who's already bought the shit? We can't. And him coming here would make no difference. What possible difference would it make, Arnold, for him to come here? Other than wasting more time. And me coming back to another meeting where I'm going to go,
Well,
okay.
then I just offered that as a suggestion. Now, if someone would make a motion that we not recommend this for approval by the city commission, then we'll proceed.
I make that motion. I would make the motion.
Is there a second to
I
that
second.
motion? We have a motion and a second that we not recommend the installation of these windows as presented to the city commission. All those in favor of the motion, raise your right hand. Thank you.
Now, will the communication be that we would like to talk to him about this before, or will he just take it to the city commission and appeal?
No, what'll happen is this decision will go to the city commission. Now, we can add a footnote to that, you know, but this is the recommendation of this board, is not to recommend the installation of those windows as presented.
Can you make a note that he was not able to attend this meeting?
Well, you know, I certainly can put that on the paper, but,
What method could he put? I mean, it seemed like when we first started out as a board, there was some mechanism in place where people who came to downtown and bought buildings downtown were given a packet of information, like the Downtown Design Review Board guidelines.
right.
Is that done any longer? I mean, I think it was the chamber of downtown.
I can't speak to that, I don't know. I would suggest probably not.
I mean, I don't know that this is not malicious, this is just ignorant of
Right.
why
Well,
we're
but
here.
this situation is not uncommon. In other words, we'd have to have the cooperation of the realtors and the fact that because all of the buildings on Main Street from 3rd to Old Ford Boulevard are now in the National Historic District.
But the flip side is there aren't that many realtors, so it's not like
Understood.
contacting hundreds of people.
Right, no, the realtors should be made aware, and the realtors should have a copy of the current design review guidelines. Okay,
Well, and did he submit plans to the city, the codes official for this, to get a building permit for this installation? This is the kind of thing that requires a building permit under the current building code. So was that done?
it's an architectural change.
Anything
and
that's
it
not
should-
painting a freaking door requires a plan submission to the codes for plan
Right.
permit. So, was that done? And if it was, that also could have been an opportunity to say, oh, by the way, before you get this purchase, you know,
Right,
you
but-
have this approved. It's just,
to the best of our knowledge, I'm saying to the best of my knowledge, I don't think this has been given to the codes officer for his review.
So that's a double whammy.
I mean, that's why I'm saying it's frustrating to me on every
No,
level.
understood. The codes officer's been a revolving door, but we have a codes officer now and we have a staff. I mean, 2 members plus the codes officer. And Rick's entirely correct. Any architectural change to any structure in the historic district
Well, in the
requires
city
a
of
building
Hoboken,
permit. Yes, sir.
requires a plan submittal.
Just sitting here thinking about this, and the comment's been made that, okay, so it's not approved as is. And the next step would be that this gentleman goes to the commission and gets them to approve it as he has it on paper. What if, because then it seems like that this advisory board has really not been able to do anything. What if there was a, saying, look, we're not in favor of these windows as presented.
Right.
We would ask that you place a median piece or metal rail across these, and then that would probably meet at least you've gotten something done instead of he's just gonna put them in.
Well, if he's gonna have to come
But I'm
and meet with
just-
somebody,
I don't
meet
know.
with
Then
the
he's
city
gonna need to
commission,
basically come back to another meeting with that proposal and that design.
and then he
Right,
doesn't have to meet with the city commission if we approve it, right? Or if we would approve a change.
No, if we recommend this to the city commission for its approval, then the applicant doesn't necessarily have to go to the city commission at
Right.
all, because they will act on what we've done.
So the
If
way I
we've
see it,
recommended.
the way I see it, either he's gonna have to come to the city commission and bypass us and appeal the situation because he's already
But that's
bought the
right.
windows, or he can come and meet with us and we can discuss it. And then if we approve it, he's done. If we don't approve it, then
Well, we recommend it, right,
Right.
understood.
we'll recommend.
Well, that's a choice he's gonna have to make.
I do know that Mr. Stryler, the first time when there wasn't a quorum, he was here in town. The second time he was in, I believe, somewhere in California. Last week he was in Michigan. So
I'm sure he's
he-
frustrated, yeah.
he travels abroad, and he's not, I don't believe he is in town a lot during the week, so just take that for what
Well,
it is.
We've made the decision to not recommend this to the city commission for their approval as submitted. And I can make a note here that if the applicant wants to come back to the board and present an alternative, then we could consider that. And that's what I'll write in here. But we've already made that decision, so I don't think we need any more discussion on it right now, okay? All right, I'll take care of writing it down, and I'll mention the medium board, medium strip and things like that.
Fake meeting rail, what it is.
Medium,
Meeting,
Meeting
MEETING, meeting rail, like meeting of the two facets in the middle,
okay,
meeting rail.
all right. Moving on to the second. We have an addition sign behind perpendicular to the front door. They wanna put it on the front door. The metal sign with the business name, see attached design. Okay,
I think the sign's up, isn't it?
well, they have a sign over the
I think
sidewalk right now.
Small.
Yeah, that's what this is. This is a request for this sign to be hung perpendicular to the sidewalk. It says here, addition of a sign to be hung perpendicular to the front door. You know, on the sidewalk. It's there now. It's already hung up.
I thought she had already came to it.
I think we had this last week. I don't know if we didn't take action because we didn't have a quorum. But I think we were kind of the opinion that it's fine.
Yeah, I mean, I don't,
But I mean, yeah, it's already, I don't think she's not painting anything on the door.
no. Okay,
Yeah, so I'd make a motion to, recommend it for approval. But I guess we should discuss it. You guys have anything?
Jane, that's all right. Peggy, comments? Jane? Martha, Jane?
Fine.
Okay. Rick's made the motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Done deal. Okay. We have a guest. Mr. Witt would like to ask a question or whatever.
Note that I am before the fact.
Well, and you were
That's fine.
when you did
That's
your
fine.
downtown building. You were.
I own the building at 20 Scott Avenue, right around the corner, right across from the pawn shop. Yeah. And I've talked with Mid-Continental and entered in agreement. I do have some damage to the building. I'm just asking, do I need to come to design review? Got some wood rotting and the awnings are falling off and it needs
Okay.
other things. I've met with Mid-Continental. They've looked at the building and we've come to agreement on price for with water seal and repairing the joints to replace the wood front and the back at the top to replace the awnings.
Okay, very good. We're glad you're here.
No structural change, just
Right.
redoing what's already there.
Replacement in kind.
Right.
They are past Jerry and Mike, so
Oh, okay.
Just redo it.
Okay, let me pass these down, but we'll get it for the chair.
Or maybe start this the other way, showing, not
So
much
Jerry,
damage.
did you buy the big building?
No.
Yeah, I knew you had bought the garage and the small one.
Right.
A little bit.
I bought the garage, prior to, and of course I needed that because I needed a garage for storage, stuff like that. And then, realtor called me and said, hey, there's gonna be probably a person in there that's gonna be quite noisy and they're gonna put a lift door in the front instead of those windows being out. Oh, I don't think that'd be good for downtown, so I bought the building.
Yay. Thank you.
Well, but anyway, it's time to, I've done the inside downstairs.
So what do you, not that it makes a difference to what we're gonna do, but what do you use in the building?
There is, downstairs is a large room and was a small kitchen.
Mhm.
Upstairs is living, two bedrooms and a kitchen. Years ago, she used it for a coffee shop.
Yes, it was nice.
And the upstairs had the 3 sinks and so that they could do that. I'd love to find a business that'd like to, maybe a home business. The ideal thing would be let them have a business downstairs and live upstairs.
Mhm.
If I can't, I can close it off and put an apartment up and business down.
Chunk and chop, it was nice.
Yes, it was.
That's right. I think I-
Yeah, they were cool people too.
Mhm.
Really nice.
So anyway, tore out the carpeting and put hard floor covering in, put new kitchen cabinets for a break room and things downstairs. So we're done with the outside, on the inside. We're just looking at the outside now. And I didn't know if, what I needed to do with you all.
I think we can take care of it.
Well,
Well, I got
You know, in this context, right today, could you get a certificate of appropriateness, please?
So there is something I guess that's kind of new, changing a little bit. It looks like the siding up there is like a wood, just vertical wood strap or flat type. And you're proposing to go with corrugated polycarbonate.
that's what
Is that what they're-
Mid-Continent recommended.
Okay, why do they propose corrugated polycarbonate versus wood?
Hail-proof and
Is it colored?
lasts
or-
longer than
Okay.
choice of color, and if I go with that, I'll go gray.
Okay. I would suggest going ahead and submitting a certificate of appropriateness then with maybe, I guess I would like to see what that stuff looks like, the polycarbonate material. Like what kind of a rib spacing there is and that sort of thing on the polycarbonate.
This guy's prepared.
Nice. All right.
And it'd probably be lighter than the wood. Now on the front, on the back, you can see that about the last 12 inches is really kind of coming across off the building, and it's really defrayed, like it's taking a lot more beating in the front. Of course, it's on the west, so there's a lot more sun in there.
And then they're also planning to replace the, I guess, is it fabric on top of the awnings or is it wood on top? Fabric. They're gonna put this material on top of the awning as well.
Mm-hmm.
And then leave the fabric fringe alone for now, or the fabric fringe is around the sides and the front. So is that going to just stay on there?
On the big one on the bottom, we're going to cover the sides and the front too.
Okay. So it's basically, instead of having a fabric fringe, it's going to have plastic, corrugated plastic.
Whatever that is.
Corrugated plastic.
So it'll all match up.
Okay.
I looked on Main Street, several buildings have that on it, or something similar to it.
Yeah.
The fabric's all rotted now, and the beading is coming off, and it looks pretty bad.
So it would, instead of being a sort of a scalloped fringe, it's going to be a straight line of polycarbonate. Just cut it and forget it.
It'd be pretty hard to cut scallop down, I'm sure.
Yeah, probably. I don't know. Well,
Yeah, I looked at the other one. The polycarbonate thing, I didn't see.
so yeah, it's just like we used to call it like stuff you'd use on awnings back in the day that you kind of screw to your lightweight frame on top of your things around. I guess, and you're choosing not to go back with fabric on the fringe, basically because there's some lower maintenance or something, or. I mean, I know there's a lot of those downtown awnings. They've let the fringe is put on in '86. It's a 5 to 10 year product, and it's been 30 something years. So most of it is just gone at this point. Nobody's bothered to replace it.
I got a bid for it. It's $9,800.
They were put fabric on it. Okay. And then this is just going to be a screwed on plastic stuff.
Try to make it look like that as much as possible.
Yeah.
I don't think there are too many fabric ones left. I mean,
No.
for good reason.
Well, there's not a lot of people to do it.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah, I mean, it was Nevada is where we went back today. I think it was Joplin might have a.
Joplin.
Thank you for saving the building.
Thank you.
Yeah, for sure.
I had Stoughton in, had a leak in the wall, did a lot of plumbing things on it.
Well, and I definitely appreciate the trying to save some money on cost stuff. And I really don't know that it would be so bad on the gable end, siding to use that kind of a corrugated material versus a flat wood. This is a translucent material, so light's going to pass through it. So in your attic space, for instance, you're going to have light transmitted through. Well, there's going to be probably some sheathing behind it, maybe.
The frame is in good shape. It's okay.
Okay.
Can't still do it.
So if you're like sheathing, like studs, and then like plywood over the studs, or is it just like this vertical metal or this vertical wood is attached to like a horizontal furring strip or something?
One company I had declined because they don't know what's behind it. We don't know if brick goes all the way up or whatever. On the back, it's pulling away from the building, and it looks like studs back there. But
yeah, it probably. My guess is that that gable pitched roof was not original to the building. That somebody has come in at some point in time and built that structure over what was probably a flat roof with a parapet in order to And so they had to do something to sort of finish off the fact that they created a triangle up there that had been straight
So
previously.
the date on the front says 1880.
Well, this is probably 1970.
It was a harness shop.
Right, and it may, it may have been, I don't know, I don't know for sure, to be honest with you, but
They made horse harnesses and fox harnesses.
Well, did they have a big door in the front then?
I think so.
it looks like there's a
I
big,
think there's some pictures floating around of it when it was old.
Well, I'd like to see that.
well, you can kind of see the brick here on the whole
Yeah,
shed, it's different.
Yeah, those windows have been put in.
Yeah, so there was some kind of overhead door, big door there, and stuff like that. But this isn't the fire station. I guess that's the old fire
No, it was a harness shop. And I think it had swinging doors. Like
Probably did.
station. Yeah, section overhead door is kind of a modern thing. But I mean, you know,
I think our funeral home started next to it. It was on Scott, in 1862.
well, it would not, I mean, the canopy finish basically, I've seen that done, it's just not, a rigid material that's supposed to be in a place of what was a fabric and straight lines and stuff, it just doesn't look that great. Is it the end of the world? Probably not. You know, I know like they did it on Wall Street, there's like an auction place or something, or a realtors or something, that kind of put this black metal across the front of it. To me, it looks terrible, but I mean, it's not like it can't be taken off. But you know, it's up to you, Jerry. I guess I'm not gonna say no. You know, it's just a minor thing, frankly. Does anybody else have an opinion about it?
Jay, let's go down. Peggy? Jane? Rick?
No, I think it's fine.
Okay.
Fine.
Okay. All right, entertain a motion. What is the address, please?
20 Scott.
Entertain a motion to recommend to the city commission that the, in-kind alterations to 20 Scott, be recommended for their approval. Somebody make that motion.
So moved.
Jane, second. Jane, all in favor? Aye. Okay, if you would just fill out up here at the top, okay? Just fill that out. We'll take care of the rest.
No, it's the same thing. Does this need to go before the SHPO too?
Pardon me?
Does this have to go before the SHPO as well?
I don't think so because it's what I call a replacement in kind. It might be a stretch, but it's still similar to what it was.
Right. Well, and really, I don't think the awnings were original either, to be honest with you. So
No, they may not be, but they were on there when it was placed on the register.
I see.
So the grandfather is.
Right.
Isn't that
So,
the right word? Yeah.
because if a awnings created an objection, it will not have been put on the register as a contributing factor for building.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, if you would fill that out at the top, we'll take care of the rest. And
Thank you.
that'll expedite you.
So this allows me to go get a building permit then, right?
Right. You can take, well, this will go to the city commission at the next commission meeting on Tuesday, and then after that, you can go and apply for building permit. Okay?
Mid-continent said it'd be about a month before they could get on it.
On that anyway, okay? We've taken care of business, the 2 agendas, and the third one that came up to us. Now, I would like, as we always do, I'd like to take a few minutes for general discussion. If any board member has anything they want to ask our tourism director, or concerns about any buildings, feel free to express it, Peggy.
Well, the building on the corner over here really bothers me. It seems like every time I drive by, there's something else
That's the
falling off.
Moody building.
The Moody building, there's something else that's falling off. You know, he's put plywood in some of the windows. I don't know
safety code, what
which
is it?
nobody seemed to know even existed. And if what he says is true and the city has adopted it twice, then the city needs to be going into that building and see what's going on. Cause
The property maintenance code. maybe
yeah,
so.
whatever it's called, you know, always before it was like, no, the city can't do anything, the city can't get in there, yada, yada. Well, this thing's been on the books now for 20 years and nobody found it until he. So if this is true, there's somebody needs to be going into that. It looks terrible. It's just an eyesore to me. It just really worries me. Also, I'm concerned about, dear Lord, this what happens when you're 80. I'm concerned about the CK Famers building. When I go down to the coffee shop and I have to wait in the alley, one of the things on the third floor, one of those knob things that sits up there, it looks like it's going like this.
Like what, a big finial or something?
That's it, the word finial. It's right on, you can see it, you know, if you're in the alleyway, it's right on the alley, and it's one on this.
This is the Milrose building.
Yes, I'm sorry, yes, the Milrose building.
Milrose.
Yes, and it's like it's just leaning. So I don't know whether they're aware of that or not, but that's.
Kind of scary.
Huh?
I said, that's kind of scary.
Well,
I don't sign it.
it's there, you know.
The finial is leaning.
Yes, it's leaning towards the east. Yes.
And it
So
would fall into the alley,
it would go, yeah, I don't think it's that bad.
but that's the way it would
It
fall.
would fall into the alley.
Okay.
Yeah, it would fall into the alley and fell, but it is definitely crooked there. So those are the only, that's all I have to say.
Okay, take note, then you have codes officer look into the Moody
Yes,
building.
yes.
And check that finial on the Milrose block.
Yes.
Because if that comes down.
On something.
Okay.
Shane,
No, other than, you know, I talked to the fire chief about the engineer going into the McDonald building.
chop house.
And the roof is actually not collapsed. And according to that engineer, it's, the design of the roof is what it's not collapsed. The only thing they could see that was collapsed was the ceiling. You know, the lath and plaster.
Because of the moisture coming in.
And they saw a few little small holes, but apparently, according to Dave, it was very fixable. So that's a good thing.
Yeah,
Okay. Thank you. And leave me a set of the photographs. Okay, I'll get a copy. Well, we handed some out. Right?
Yeah, but that's more than a copy. I'll go up here.
Okay,
I'll move people some copies.
all right, thank you.
Yeah.
Since you brought it up, the question is, what's the status of the city's position on the McDonald building, the chop house? Where is the city?
I think it's, they're discussing it, and I don't know if they're past that.
well, it was mentioned because I'm bored, I don't have anything else to do, so I watched the city meetings. It was mentioned, they talked about it 2 minutes, and it was gone, there was something. So there was really no discussion. Rob Harrington made a very good presentation to them about it and about the condition that it was in, or the condition as he saw it, I don't know, you know. He had been in the building with a prospective buyer, and he, you know, basically told them, you know, you just lost one building, this is gonna be your next one. And
Right.
again, there was maybe 2 minutes of discussion, and then they're off on something else. So, unless they're discussing it in the coffee shop, it was not really discussed at the last city commission that I saw.
Who owns the building right now?
This is,
Holly Cup.
Cutler,
Greg
Still,
Cup.
okay,
Greg Cutler's wife is in Texas.
okay.
Okay,
I don't have.
on the subject of the McDonald building, it's open to anyone on the board who wants to comment. I'll save my comments for that. Rick, why don't you?
I'd like to know the status, I mean, it sounds better maybe than people hoped, if it's interior rather than exterior.
that's a plus. Now, is the interior covered in mold?
The chop house smells bad of mold.
That's
I
what I
mean,
mean.
because there's sheetrock in there and stuff that'll probably have to be taken off.
I looked in the window last week, just when I was talking to someplace else, and it looked tidier than I thought it had recently. I mean, it looked like somebody had kind of cleaned up
Well, maybe
inside.
since it's listed, through Stewart's again, maybe somebody went in there and picked some stuff up.
Swept.
Okay.
It looks less big. I mean, it looks like maybe some of the booths have been taken out, or I don't know. It looked different.
I think I can share the frustration of the entire board. And that is, we have been asking about this building for 6 years, along with the Eagle Block. And if one can believe what was written in the paper about it, it was said that the city commission is exploring options and to resolve it. And I would please ask that you convey to the city commission that we are very concerned about that building. And it's been 6 years. It's been that long. And we brought it to the attention of every city commission. And we will continue to do that until they take action and do something about it. Now, I think they said there were a couple prospective buyers. There's always been a prospective buyer, and when they get inside, then they change their mind, and they're not gonna do it. And at some point, action is gonna have to be taken by the city commission to get into that building and to stabilize it and put a temporary roof on it. And if that, for the lack of a better term, that international life safety code, if that permits the city to go into a building and to temporarily fix it, they ought to do that. Now, I don't know what more we can do except bring it to their attention as a result of every meeting we have. But thank you. Is there anything else? Any other bill, Rick?
Well, and I guess it's not, there's a life safety code that is an actual code that exists, but it's not an adopted code by the city of Fort Scott. The city of Fort Scott has adopted a residential code, a building code, a mechanical code, a property maintenance code, that's what you'd be referring to, I believe, fuel code, a plumbing code, an electrical code, a fire prevention code, and that's pretty much it. Oh, yeah, those are the adopted codes here. The 101 life safety is typically reserved for the Kansas State Fire Marshal's office. This is something that they typically look at. It's very similar in a lot of its aspects to the building code in terms of things having to do with life safety primarily. The building code is actually gets a little more detail when it comes to things like how buildings are assembled, those kind of requirements. But it also does contain information about life safety. The property maintenance code talks about.
Is that what Commissioner Allen was referring to
Quite
then?
possibly. I did not hear what he said. I just heard you guys say life safety. Building.
He called it, I don't even, the first word was international, that's what I remember.
Okay, so all of these codes that are adopted here in Fort Scott are provided by what's called the International Codes Council. So they are the International Building Code, the International Mechanical
Okay,
Code,
that may be what it is.
International Property Maintenance Code, International Fire Code, etc. So the only one that's a little different is typically the electrical code is put out by the national. It's different. It's the fire.
So the international property code or whatever you call that, is that the one that was through the city?
Probably. I have to look. I haven't read it, to be honest with you.
So, because that's what, the way he explained it that night
Right.
when he was trying to read it, was that, the city would have, if they had a problem with the building, they know there's some problems there, that this code then gives them permission to
Go into the building.
Into the building. And before, it's always been, oh no, the city can't
Well,
go
and
into the building.
that was let me get this right in my mind. It was passed originally in 2008, and then 2015, it was reaffirmed by the city commission. And it's been on the books that long.
So it's probably, it's an enforcement guide that they can employ to have people who have derelict buildings, have some sort of enforcement for derelict buildings, which, you need to establish something in a town now, in addition to establishing a code, you have to enforce that code.
Right.
And enforcing the code has been a problem here, unfortunately, because
Well, understood.
it's a revolving door of code guys for starters.
Okay, does anyone have anything else they'd like to bring up?
I do, but it's not a building.
Go ahead.
Once again, we're at a time of change, but maybe moving towards stability. I don't know that a realtor needs everything that's in this book, but we have a limited number of realtors, some, and that's changed
Right.
recently. I think most of them are fairly active and involved. I think they need to know about doing things in the proper order. I don't think it's malicious. I think it's become just common practice. Well, I've already done this, and I'm just coming here, like to ask forgiveness. Especially when somebody's spending thousands of dollars, I don't think they're doing that just without thinking about the process because it's money, but they aren't thinking about the process that involves us. And I don't care about being involved, but I care about the right thing happening consistently.
I think that in the past and currently, we have building owners or property owners that are ignorant of this process.
And it was the
And
Main Street program
it should be a realtor's responsibility to explain that brief process. That's what it is. It's not that complicated. To a prospective buyer.
I mean, yeah.
And there is, I'm not asking, I'm politely suggesting that there is an ordinance already on the books that deals with certificate of appropriateness. So perhaps, rather than the design guidelines, a copy of that ordinance dealing with a certificate of appropriateness which delineates the process could be given to the realtors.
And that would be shorter.
That's a lot short. I mean, that's a one-page thing, front and back, I think. And just as a common practice, when someone else hangs out their realty shingle in town, then they are given this document.
And maybe the chamber too, just to have that on file. But there are lots of for sale signs and residentially, but there's a lot changing, and just to me, it seems like a good time for a reminder.
Well, and if you could do that, that would be fine. Yes, because I've read the ordinance. I have the ordinance at home. I saw it the other day about the certificate of appropriateness and why they have to do it and why they should do it.
And so if somebody comes in and asks for a building permit, the first thing they should have been asked,
Right.
especially if it involves the historic district, is have you filled out your certificate?
Right.
They should be handing it right then and there.
That's right.
How did you know, Jerry?
I went through this.
Yes, you did.
Okay, yeah. I mean, so you kind of knew, and Ed Townley knows about it, so I mean, I was like I said, when this first started, I don't know, was it Jean Smart, whatever that lady who's like the downtown Main Street program director that we hired. She would go door to door and talk to people, and by the way, if you're planning to do something, she would give them the lowdown on what we were trying to do as a community. And that has more or less gone away, and there hasn't been any really strong promotion of the fact that we're trying to maintain the integrity of that district.
Right.
Well, and that's a problem. But I guess so we have to figure out another way of doing it. And so as if I'm a prospective buyer, when I come to Fort Scott, I'm presuming a realtor would be the first person I would speak to about what's available in your town, or maybe I'd go to the chamber and say, what do I do if I want to buy some property here? I'm interested in something of this size or whatever. And at that point, they should probably be informed that, yeah, that's something, but by the way, you know, before you make any decisions, you need to understand that we do have a process here of review prior to modernization or renovation of a building.
Right.
And, you know, and just let them, just advise them of that. So, you know, it may make them less inclined because, like, oh, if I have to, you know, if I have to go through a review process, it's gonna cost me money, which it will, to do it correctly. That's the problem, is doing things the right way costs a lot more money than doing things the wrong way. And, you know, that's a battle that we have to sort of go through with people. And, you know, we'll try to be accommodating, but it's, you know, but at least I would like to have the opportunity to inform somebody before they go with, like I said, the cost of putting those windows here and a hung window unit is probably nothing or negligible at best. And it would have been nice to at least give this Dean a chance to say, hey, Betty, you know, why are you choosing a casement window that's so out of character with this type of a building? And he may have been looking at some other buildings downtown, but they may have been, you know, I think the building next door has like a big old plate glass thing in it. Again, no, that's not correct, but it's just
Well,
in there.
we have had in the past where a couple of other property owners have gone ahead and purchased new windows, installed the windows, and then had to change them completely. They weren't happy with that, but they did change it. Okay. Is there anything else for discussion? If not, entertain a motion to adjourn. Rick, second. Peggy, all in favor? Aye. We are adjourned. Thank you. Shut your mics off.
Thank you, Jerry.
I've got to rebuild the back wall, the outside walls. And Chippo is making me build that